Hey, welcome back to Twisted Willow. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to have some fun and make some homemade pizza. I wanted to show you how I make really easy pizza dough in my bread maker. I use my bread maker to make all kinds of doughs, and it allows me to make really good pizza with a fraction of the effort. It literally does all of the hard work for me, and I can just throw all of my ingredients in, set it, and forget it. By using this method, it has saved us a ton of money on takeout and allows us to make healthier options at home. So to make this dough, we're going to start out with some all-purpose flour, some filtered water, olive oil, and some instant rise yeast. And I have my bread pan from my bread maker here that I'm going to put these ingredients into. I'll post the measurements for this recipe down in the description. This is my bread maker. It's nothing special. It was a pretty good price. I got it on sale and it works perfectly for what I need it for. You can see that setting number 8 is a dough setting. That's the setting that we're going to use. It kneads your dough, allows it to rise, punches it down, and allows it to rise again without baking it. First, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of filtered water. I'm just using cold water here because I'm using instant yeast. Next, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the yeast. Then I'm going to add 4 cups of flour. Next is 1 tablespoon of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. You can use whatever salt that you prefer. Now we're going to move the bread pan into the bread maker and get it to start mixing. So we're looking for the dough setting, and on this machine it's number 8. So we are going to push the menu button until it reaches number 8, and then we're going to push the start button. So our paddle has started mixing all of the ingredients together. And we're just going to wait for the dough to come a little bit more together, and then we'll add some olive oil. So just ignore my little prop here. I don't have enough space above the bread maker to open the lid all the way. Now that the dough has come together, we're going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So that's all of the ingredients added, so we don't need to do anything else. This is going to keep doing its thing, and we're going to close the lid and make sure that we have enough counter space. This thing rocks a little bit, and you don't want to have it right on the edge of your counter. So this takes about an hour and a half, and it will beep when it's ready. So a last minute change of plans, I've decided to go all out and make some boneless wings to go along with our pizza. I've taken some of our homegrown chicken out of the freezer, chicken breast, and to get it to thaw faster, I am placing it in some room temperature water. Our chicken that we raise here on our farm is wheat, corn, and soy-free diet, and it is really, really tasty, and I love getting a chance to use it as much as I can. While this is thawing, I'm going to get to some dishes. I was making some homemade dog food earlier, and the pizza dough is still doing its thing, so we'll be back when we're done. So the chicken has thawed out enough that I can start cutting it into chunks. So here I have my chicken already cut up, and I cut it into about 2-bite pieces. I figure that's about the size of boneless wings. And our next step is to soak this. I don't have any buttermilk on hand, so I'm going to make my own buttermilk with just some regular milk and a little bit of lemon juice. The chicken was just a little bit frozen still, so the soaking is also going to help it finish thawing. So now we're going to season this with a little salt and pepper. Again, I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and you can use whatever salt you prefer. I'm not measuring any of this, I'm just kind of doing what feels right. Next, we're going to pour in the milk, just enough to kind of cover all of the chicken. Then we're going to add just about a tablespoon or so of lemon juice. And I'm just going to add a touch more milk. I think we just need a little bit more in here to cover the chicken. And I thought I would add a little bit of my homemade ranch seasoning into this. It has buttermilk powder in it as well, so I just thought it would be a really good thing to add. So with this seasoning mix, it says that you should add about 3 tablespoons to equal 1 packet of the name brand ranch dressing mix. So I'm going to add about half of that, so about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the mix. So I've mixed it all really well, and I'm going to cover this and chill it until we're ready to batter it. So we're just checking on our pizza dough in the bread maker. It's about an hour through its dough cycle, so we have 29 minutes left. And so we're just going to have a peek and make sure everything's looking good. It was just beaten down, so it's not so light and fluffy yet. It's just about to do its last rise for the last half hour, and it will beep when it's done. So I've dredged my chicken pieces, and this was just flour and then an egg and beer dredging, and then back in the flour again. I have my oil here all ready to temperature, 350 degrees for frying. This is my homemade pork lard that I made with our pasture-raised pork, and I'm going to drop the chicken into the hot oil. And here's our chicken cooking away, and I've had to turn it down a little bit because even after adding the cold chicken, the oil was still staying quite hot. I just got a new induction stove top, so it's kind of a learning curve, learning how to cook all over again. But it looks really good, and this is my first time using this dredging method of adding beer to my egg mixture. So here I've prepared all of our pizza toppings. We have a ham and pineapple lover in the family, so we have some cut up ham that I had in the freezer, some pineapple. I keep pineapple frozen on hand all the time for homemade pizza. And this is a blend of mozzarella and a garlic Havarti cheese. We're going to put both of them on our pizzas. And for our sauces, we have a barbecue sauce, a creamy Alfredo sauce, and just a basic pizza sauce. I had these in my pantry, and they needed to be used, so I thought we'll do 3 different types of pizza tonight. So here in a pot, I have some butter and some seasoning, some garlic, mainly some salt, a little bit of the ranch seasoning. We like the garlic Parmesan boneless wings, so we're going to do something really similar to that. Our boneless wings are just about done cooking here, and they're looking really, really nice. I'm just going to pull these out and put them on a paper towel lined plate, and I will show you what they look like when I've done that. So I've just put the next batch in. I have taken out a lot of chicken, so I think we'll have several batches. This is what the first batch looks like. It's really nice and crispy, and the batter has stayed on really, really nicely. So we're going to finish cooking up all the batches, and then we'll put our garlic and Parmesan sauce over top. I thought I would just show you a close-up of the chicken. It is so amazing. The batter is just staying right on there. Our dough is done. It's been done for a few minutes. As you can see, it's risen right to the top of the bread pan. So I'm going to take it out and put it on the counter. I really love using the bread maker because it proofs at the perfect temperature. As you can see, it's really nice and light and fluffy. So we're going to start shaping this into some pizza shells. I had these chicken medallions sitting in the freezer that needed to be used, so I thought I would quickly bake them up and we're going to use them as a topping on one of our pizzas. And now I'm just going to preheat the oven to cook our pizzas, so we want to bake at 550 degrees. So I'm just grabbing my pizza steel and we're just going to pop that in the oven and allow it to preheat and get nice and hot for when our pizzas are ready to put in. So I've divided our dough into 3 pieces. It makes about 3 medium pizzas, and I've put it on a piece of square parchment, and we're going to press this out into the size of about a medium pizza. We're going to add tomato sauce, cheese, our sliced ham, pineapple, and a little bit more cheese on top. Then we're going to make pizza number 2. And so again, I've taken 1/3 of the dough on a piece of parchment, pressed it into a shell. We're adding some tomato sauce, some barbecue sauce, some cheese, some pieces of chicken, and a little bit of ham on there, and some more cheese, and then we finish off with a little bit more barbecue. And we put pizza number 1 in the oven. And here I've pulled out the second batch of boneless wings, and still they look amazing. Not quite as dark as the first batch, so I think turning the oil down has definitely helped. I've now pulled the parchment out from under our pizza, and this pizza is going to cook for 5 to 7 minutes depending on your oven. And we're going to quickly do pizza number 3 with our parchment that we pulled out from pizza number 1. I forgot to mention that I put just a little dollop of olive oil on the top side of the crust. That just helps to make it easier to work with. And pizza number 3 is going to be chicken Alfredo. So again, I'm going to push this into a thin crust. I'm going to top it with Alfredo sauce, cheese, some ham. And our timer has just gone off on pizza number 1, so we're just pulling that out of the oven now. I have my pizza peel here. I got it as a gift, and it is a really good way for me to be able to get pizzas on and off the steel. This looks delicious. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We're just going to let it rest here on this rack while we cook the others. In goes pizza number 2. And we'll go back to finishing pizza number 3. We've added chicken and a little bit of bacon and some cheese. We've removed the parchment on pizza number 2, and now we're going to heat up our butter and our seasonings, and we'll just turn this on. This is an induction stove, so it's going to get that butter melting really, really quickly. I love induction. I'm really happy to have it back, and as you can see, the butter is already melting, so we have to be really careful and watch this, otherwise the butter will start to brown. So I've turned this down a little bit. It was starting to bubble, and we don't want that because the next step will be browning. So we're just trying to get that last chunk of butter melted down with the spices, and I think I'm just going to turn it off from here, and we'll just let that kind of melt on its own. And that is our timer for pizza number 2. So we're just going to take that out of the oven now. And that looks incredible. I'm really excited. I haven't made a barbecue chicken pizza in a while, so I think that one's going to be the one I'm most eager to try. And now I've added some shredded Parmesan cheese to our butter and spice mixture, and we're just going to let that melt. And we're going to pull the parchment out from our last pizza and set the timer for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm now just trying to stir in the Parmesan cheese a little bit. It's not going to melt in completely. Parmesan doesn't really like to do that, but we're going to try to get it as cohesive as we can. And I've just pulled out our last pizza, the chicken Alfredo. So you have to move really quickly because these pizzas cook so fast, but it's so worth it. You get that really nice crust. And these are our boneless wings. Everybody's been grabbing one as they walk past. So I've put our garlic Parmesan sauce on top, and it just looks so good, and they are so yummy. I've added a little bit extra Parmesan cheese grated on top. And you can put whatever flavor sauce you want on these. This just happens to be our favorite. And here it is. These are our 3 medium pizzas and our boneless wings. And this is one of our favorite meal nights. It's just as good as takeout and for a fraction of the cost. I've priced this out, and making this meal yourself from scratch at home comes in at under $30 in the area that I'm at our grocery store prices. My cost, because I save scraps and I save things, freeze things, and I have a full working pantry, I'm able to do this for about $4. I've looked this up online, and a pizza restaurant that serves a very similar meal to this, 3 medium pizzas and boneless wings, on sale was $88. And another added bonus is that we know exactly all of the ingredients that is in all of this food. So we get to control the quality of our food as well, whereas when you order takeout, you have to compromise on the quality of ingredients. So there it is, pizza and boneless wings for under $5. Thanks for cooking with me today, and we'll see you next time.